And right now you should be seeing our fixed assets for Dynamics SL module. If that is not what you all are seeing, please feel free to enter into the chat box, just so I can make sure that I'm showing you the correct thing. Let me get the go to out of your way. You don't need to be seeing that. Okay, so if you guys are seeing something other than my SL screen, please let us know. What you see in front of you is fixed assets for Dynamics SL, and this product was created to give you a seamless integration with fixed assets into SL. And as you can see, it's sitting on your SL menu. It has all the same security features, same lookup features, same reporting functionality. It really feels like an out-of-the-box module when it comes down to it. So I am going to go through some of the setup functionalities and the main code screens, and then show you how to create an asset, directly from a transaction in SL as well as manually. And then I'll show you how easy the depreciation process can be. So first of all, I'm opening the fixed assets setup screen, and here's where you set up your default accounts, and this is a very important button. This button right here shows you how you can just let the system update your general ledger. Once you have the system set up, then you click this button and you would see it would automatically create transactions and post them to your general ledger for you, depending on which automatic release functionality you have checked in this posting and release section. The next thing I want to show you is this system can be a full location tracking system. So you can track by using our location table, or if you have sub-account segments already set up in SL, you can choose sub-account segments, and then you don't have to recreate your location table. We do have a lot of integration with project, as well as a number of different options you can turn on and off within the system. One nice thing I'd like to show is our custom screen. So if there's something that in the fixed asset module that you want to be able to track, but you can't find a field in which that matches with that information, you can actually set up up to 25 custom fields within our module, and it will show up on its own tab with its own label. So when you're looking at the fixed asset screen, if there's something like an IP address or things like that, that you're like, I want to be able to track this, but I can't, you can do so by creating the label, creating the fields that you want to track, and saving it. Now, we'll show you where this tab will show up later in the demonstration. We're going to move into the code screens for a minute, because all of our sorry, I'm going to move my notes out of the way. All of our assets are tracked or all the information within the assets are tracked in books. So you can have actual is usually your internal depreciation, and you can post that to your ledger. You can have as many books as you want, like tax, AMT, state, budget, things of that nature. Any can post your ledger, either the actual or the statistical. You can lock the periods down at the end of the period if you would like, and all can have different fiscal periods. So if you have multiple books set up, you can have all of them can have different fiscal periods. And I'm going to wanted to scroll across so you could see the information. And what you can do, you can apply these to different classes and categories. You don't have to have the same book on all of your different classes and categories. So just so you know, you set up all the books you want here. Then after you've set up your different books, you can also set up some other reporting functionalities. We have fund sources and retirement methods. And fund sources would be you were able to track everything you bought with a specific lease, or everything that you bought with a specific grant, things of that nature, and then pull a report that says, give me everything that I bought with this lease. The same thing is for retirement methods. When you go to retire an asset, you can set up different retirement methods. So you can say, give me all the assets that I've donated this year. Give me all the assets that were stolen from a specific location this year, to see if you have a theft problem. So there are just a couple different reporting tools or different code screens you can set up to give some more robust reporting functionality for you along the way. Then we also have our depreciation methods. Very important. I'm going to F3 here. And I'm going to F3 here. My F3 is not working. My screen just, there we go. I hit F3 too many times. So as you can see, we track all the standard methods. So we track straight line, double declining balance, sum of the years, digits, units of production. We have a large list of depreciation methods. We also have the IRS tax tables. With your maintenance plan, we maintain these based on when the IRS releases their updates every year. So as long as you keep a maintenance plan, we would send those updates out to you. We also have luxury auto limits, bonus, and Section 179 limits. You can, if you don't find a method in this laundry list of methods, you can also set up your own tabular method and your own declining balance rate. So this is where you would set up all of your methods. Oh, sorry, I forgot to shut my notices down. So after this, I'm going to show you classes and categories. So classes are the bigger picture, and categories are the more granular look at your assets. So all of our assets are grouped in classes and categories. We have vehicles, and then we have trucks. And then within here, you set up all your default accounts for this class and category, as well as the books you want to track for this class and category. This makes it so when you're creating assets down the road, you don't have to remember all of this information. It'll automatically populate once you choose the class and category. So that makes setting up a new asset a lot easier. Then after you have your classes and categories and all of your code screens created, I'm going to get into the actual fixed asset screen. Now, fixed assets, as I mentioned before, has two ways of entering assets into the system. One is manually, and that's what you have in front of you. And the other is going to be creating an asset from a transaction in SL. So I'm going to show you the manual method since all the bells and whistles of fixed assets are in this screen. And then I'm going to show you how to create the asset from a transaction. I'm going to pull up an asset here so we have some information to look at. I don't like that one. Let's pull up another one. So in here, all of our assets are auto-numbered. We have the main description for the asset here, as well as you could check this box over here and track non-fixed assets. If they don't hit your threshold, but you still want to track their location and everything, you can check the box here as a non-fixed asset. You can also use this field to either track your old asset number that you might be using right now, or just for a different description. So this main company asset number can be used for multiple things. Then we can track as many sub-assets under an asset as you'd like. So if you wanted to track a transmission for the truck and you wanted to track it over a completely different range of periods, you could do so, set it up, and it'd still roll up under the main asset. So that's and you can have as many sub-assets as you would like again. Then down here you have the fund source I talked about. We have that you choose the class and category, so all of this information below will default for you. You can see here you have your acquisition or retirement information, as well as your book information. As I scroll across, you can see the depreciation methods, averaging conventions, gain or loss, tax 179, bonus. There's a lot of information scrolling across the screen. And you could also do sub-account breakdowns from the screen and impairments from down here. Now, this section is very important. This is going to be where the information comes in when you create an asset directly from SL. So the assets you import into the system will not have this information, but the assets moving forward that you create within our system, you should be able to see the vendor. You could drill down directly to the voucher if you want to drill down to the originating PO, things of that nature. This information will stay with the asset for the life of the asset. So this is a very key feature in our seamless integration. We also have over here, we have an attachment functionality where you can attach at both the asset and sub-asset level. You can have a service schedule for an asset. It's an additional module, but you can have a maintenance. You can track the maintenance cost and schedule maintenance for assets using our fixed asset service module. You can do asset splits and asset disposals directly from this screen. On this next tab, you can track all your warranty information, currency and billing information, tangible personal property lease information. You can see here all the different transactions that will ever occur with this asset. So you could always see a running list, as well as you can generate the asset transaction screen from here, at which this screen also gives you the ability to reverse batches. Then we have a standard notes tab where you can have an additional notes on top of the standard SL notes that happen at the asset and sub-asset level. We have vehicle information. You can track all your different vehicle information here, as well as lease information. And then you have your custom tab I spoke about at the beginning, where you can create all your own custom tabs here and those custom fields. So if you did not see a field in any of these tabs of something you would like to track, you could use this custom field. I think I'm going to come right back here. I want to point one other thing out before I move forward. When a little later in the demonstration, I'm going to talk about how you can link your capital leases with your fixed assets. And here's your loan management system. When you link a loan to an asset, the loan information will populate right here in your fixed asset screen. And I'm going to show you how that populates in our lease grid as well. So this is the main fixed asset screen, and our system is going to it's going to generate a schedule for your asset, and you're able to view the schedule here at all times for if you need to review it or things of that nature. It also, because it creates the schedule, makes our depreciation process run faster when processing your depreciation on a monthly basis. Now, this again was your manual process. I'm going to now show you how to create an asset directly from a transaction in SL. You launch our AP record screen, and over here you have your choices: AP and purchasing, general ledger, project controller, and order management. And from here, you choose your module, you choose your period in your company, hit load grid. What's going to happen is it's going out and looking for any transaction that was posted to a fixed asset account, and it's going to, for that period in that module, and it's going to load those transactions in this grid. And from here, from here, you have the ability to choose multiple options. So I'm just going to try to make the screen a little bigger for you. You can say, yes, I want to create an asset. And you can create a new asset, you can create a sub-asset, or you can update an asset. You can also take this line and say this one line should be 10 desks. You can scroll down here, put in the quantity of 10, hit the split button, and it's going to populate this screen where you can create 10 assets from that one transaction instead of having to hand key or even create one asset and not be able to track them separately. You can create them and track them separately just as easy as hitting the split detail button. You can also say that this one line should not have been posted to a fixed asset account. You can put the right expense and sub account information in here, and when you process it, it will create the transactions moving it out of the fixed asset account and moving it into the correct expense and sub account. So that makes it very handy as well when reviewing and making sure that things aren't getting posted to your fixed asset accounts that should not. So with that being said, this is how entering assets from a transaction in SL can be much easier when you're using a fixed asset module that is seamlessly integrated within your SL. From here, I want to show you the next very important piece, which is your depreciation process. This is your depreciation screen. You can choose one book or all, one asset, a range of assets, and then you put in your period, and it's as easy as hit calculate and depreciate your assets. And what that will do is it will go through and find all the assets for the time range that you've put in here, and it will depreciate and post to a batch either in hold or automatically released for you based on what you have set up and set up. Now, if you think to yourself, oh my gosh, you press that button, I don't get to see what's going to happen, you can come down here and use our forecaster to forecast what is going to post for that period. And then you can view it and review it before you are actually come in here and hit the post button. But another nice functionality with our monthly forecaster is you can forecast months, you can forecast a year. So this way you can use it for your budget, for budget purposes for next year. You can give yourself a forecast of 6 months, 8 months. I think we even have 36 periods you could forecast through. So, and it has a number of different formats. Then we also have a method change utility in here for section 179 and bonus. So you can change, and depending on what your asset selection is here, you can update that very easily. And I think that's all I'm going to show you from the asset depreciation screen. So we've shown you how to create an asset from a transaction, how to depreciate an asset. If you are using the WIP or CIP, you can actually create categories and then be able to take that those WIP and CIP accounts and convert them to a depreciable asset using the asset close process. So that is a very handy tool as well. I know a lot of SL customers are project based and they're building a project and want to turn it into a depreciable asset that at the end you have a way of doing that without losing any of the information. Then we also have an asset transfer screen. If you're doing a lot of transfers from one site to another, from one company to another, you can come in here and do the asset transfers, and the system will create the transactions for you so that you can make sure that everything is being tracked appropriately, the transactions are being posted, and you can do so very easily by just entering the information in the screen. One other thing I'm going to show you on fixed assets is our quick find from, I almost said rainbow search, but it is now quick find. And what this does is it gives you the ability to find information in fixed assets or any of the other modules in SL if you choose to want this functionality for other modules. But you're able to do something as easy as type in the word test. I'm looking for an asset and I know it has the word test in the description. And I hit shift $, which turns it to purple. And down here, that would mean contain string. So I'm looking for an asset that contains the word test in the description and I hit find. It goes out, it finds anything that had the word test in the description for me. That it could be as easy as that, or you could say, I need to see everything that is posted in this class and category. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put class and category and I can put find. And it's going to give me everything that's posted to this class and category. Now, very nice functionality that's been added is exporting to Excel, to an Excel pivot table. Anything that's loaded into this grid can be exported into an Excel pivot table. So this is an additional functionality. You can even just give me everything that's non-fixed assets, things of that nature. So it's a very great tool that can be used whether in fixed assets or in any of the main SL modules. I personally use my AR Quick Find all the time, so I speak very highly of this product if it's something that you want to hear more about. But the rainbow search or the quick find for fixed assets does come with the module. And let me see, is there anything else I want to show you other than the reports? I think that is all I want to show you other than I'm just going to go over some report information here for you. We do have a scanner capability. It works with the MC9200 series. I think it's a real-time scanner. The system will create the barcodes for you. You would then have to print them out on whatever kind of label you would want, and then our scanner gives you the ability to scan the label and update its location and certain information directly from the screen, but it needs Wi-Fi to do so, and the scanner is not part of the out-of-the-box cost. That is a separate cost to you. Now, some of the reports that we have are, we have asset listings. You can see your asset location history, anything that's gone on with an asset. We have that asset AP records report, which lets you see anything that came in from a transaction in SL, from that SL, that AP screen I showed you. We have the asset trial balance, both regular and period sensitive, just like you have an AR or AP. We have the auditor's report. Now I'm going to pull this one up. This is a rolling report. It gives you the beginning balances, acquisitions, dispositions, and ending balance for both the asset account and the cumulative depreciation report. Wow, that was a tongue twister. I'm going to hit preview here, and I didn't change my landscape. Sorry, I didn't change the landscape, so it cuts it off. This report needs to be in landscape so that it doesn't cut it off. But this is what a glimpse of our auditor's report looks like. I also have some other of the popular reports. We have transaction reports for everything that pretty much happens in the system, but then we have our GL Recon report. This is a really nice report. What it does is it compares the balance in fixed assets with the balance on your general ledger. And if there's something different, it tries to tie the information from the GL to fixed assets. So it tries to identify what you've done. Maybe if you've posted something or something's on hold in one place, it tries to identify the differences for you to help you reconcile against your general ledger. We also do the tax forms, the 4562 and the 4797. We have some tangible personal property tax returns. We have logs for anything that happens. And I can send out with the, thank you for attending today, a copy of the user guide, which has all of the reports and all of the reports in different formats, because each of our reports probably comes with multiple formats as well. So with that, you can type in your questions on fixed assets into the question box, but now I'm going to change over into our loan/lease management product, because this product, and I have to switch databases real fast, but this product gives you the ability to track capital leases, which has become a very big, where is it? There it is. It's become one of the much more popular with laws that have changed over time and the different regulations in tracking your capital leases. So as I said before, our fixed asset module links to our loan/lease management module, which gives you the ability to track your capital leases. So I'm pulling up our loan management, and we are looking into pulling it out and just making it a lease management product to make it if you're just trying to track leases, but you can track loans and leases, both receivable and payable. So let's pull up some information, talk about how you could track your capital leases. So I'm going to open up our loan screen here, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to pull up an asset. I'm not an asset. I'm going to pull up a loan, and I'm going to look for my lease loan here. Wait, did I miss it? Give me 1 second. So I want to pull up a lease. So this main tab here is where you can set up your lease information. You can see current lease information, you see current balances. So you can, if I should have added address information here for you, but this is where you see the main information on the loan. Then if we move over here to the accounting information tab, you can, I'm going to point out, this is where, right here, this is where you can link this lease to a fixed asset. So this is where you would just F3 here, and you get to choose from your fixed asset list. And then here at the bottom of the grid, this is where you can see the different payment codes. The system comes preset with several payment codes for processing capital leases and deferred revenue, but you could also create your own codes as well. So that's where you can see that information. Next, I'm going to show you the amortization. Let's go over here to the amortization schedule. The system generates a schedule so that you can see what the interest and the principal would be. And then we also have your loan origination tab over here. So in your loan origination tab, this is where you could set up the parameters right here for your lease, including the term and the payment frequency and the due dates. So you can see all of that right here. You can also set up the interest types and rate in this area over here. And let's also pull up, this is the interest button. So when you pull up the interest button, you can, if you need to do like variable rate interest, you can do that on this screen. I'm going to scroll across here so you can see some of the other things you can see here on the interest screen. It's a very large screen. There's a lot of information here for you. So I'm just going to keep scrolling so you can see the rest, but this is where you can do some of your interest tracking. And then the last thing is the payments. So let's come here and let's pull something up here. So you can enter payments one at a time here, or you can import them. You can import your information, but you can oh, and what you can also do is this is where you can post and update your lease information that will eventually update your general ledger. So you can do that from the payment screen. And then the last screen we're going to show you, and this is all, again, linking your capital leases to a lease module where you can track and generate your lease payments and amortization schedules and things of that nature. I'm going to close this all out and I'm going to go here to our APAR interface. So let's put in a date range here and see if I can load my grid. You can load all your payments due for the month. You can process multiple payments at one time, and then you can use these, you can directly update the lease, both your payable and receivables. And you can create an import, or you can import a file in. So this is where you can bring in your payments, and you can, whether it's both here, payables or receivables. So that is the other integration I wanted to point out to you. Within our loan management system, this system, you can see the menu is just as large as fixed assets. There are a lot of code screens to set up. Loan lease management is a very robust system. The lease portion of it, you can hide things just like any standard SL product. If you have customization to manager, you can hide all the things that don't pertain to you. We have an loan management search just like you do in fixed assets or our rainbow searches in general. We have a number of reports, and I'm not really going to go into reports, but you can use these reports to tie out your rolling schedules and things of that nature. And I can send a copy of the user guide out to anybody who would like more information on the loan/lease management product and how it corresponds with capital leases and how you can link those capital leases to a fixed asset module. With that being said, is there anybody that has questions on fixed assets? Are you done talking about? I am done talking about fixed assets. I'm sorry, I just read your question. But if you guys have any questions on fixed assets, I'd be happy to go back to it. Or if you have any questions on capital leases, I'd be happy to go back to that. One thing I'd like to mention is if you're interested in this product or hearing about any of our other Plumline products, you can I can send you a catalog, and we also have a 20% off discount running for the month of October. So if fixed assets or lease management is something that you're looking into, you might want to take advantage of that 20% off offer that we have. I have a question in the queue, and it says, when setting up account categories, do you mark that asset would be eligible for Section 179 and bonus depreciation, whether or not you know if it is eligible? I am not 100% sure. I think you can go back and update that using the forecast module, or the forecaster in the method change in the depreciation screen, but I'm not 100% sure if you'd mark it while you're setting up. So I would have to ask, I could get that information for you. Let me write that down. And I can get support to answer that, because I'm not 100% sure when you mark whether it's eligible. Any other questions? Created. I just took note of that, so I'll follow up with that for you. Any other questions on fixed asset or capital leasing? So with that, if nobody has any other questions, I am done for our lunch and learn for today. I know I said it was an hour, but you can have the rest of your 30 minutes back to eat your sandwiches or your salads. And if you have any other questions on, again, this product, these two products, any of our other products in our catalog, or if you want to take advantage of our 20% off discount that we have through the end of the month, please reach out to your Microsoft partner and get the ball rolling on your order. Thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate you attending our webinar, and I look forward for you guys to hear about any of our other new products coming out. Look on our website for any of our upcoming events, or you can always find recordings of any of the webinars we've done in the past. Thanks again, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your day.